connecting you to our community. 11 Connects. Welcome to 11 Connects. I'm your host, Jen Lennon. Today I'm joined by Levi Heydrich, and we are here at the tree farm.
We're in the nursery.
They're in the nursery, and I'm back here somewhere if you can see me. But that's the whole point, Levi. We're going to actually talk about pruning today so that we can get through all of this. Right, so let's start with plants right here.
Yep.
What do we need to know? I know it's still winter time, so when is the right time with plants to start your pruning?
So there's a couple different rules. For ornamental grasses and herbaceous perennials, we can cut those back anytime, usually in February, March, and early April.
Okay.
The idea is to cut them back before the new growth starts to flush out, so we don't have new growth mixed in with our old dead growth.
Okay, and I see the green down here. So how do we cut it? I mean,
So
what's the rule?
Grasses, and I see these all over town where they don't get cut back early enough, so you just kind of grab them up like this, and we're going to what we call giving it a haircut. Good set of pruners is very important too. They're sharp. You just come in here and you give it a nice cut. And then in the spring, now we don't have all this nice green grass growing in with all this dormant dead grass.
Yeah, because this was all brown and dry at the top.
The other caveat to why we do this in this time of year is we would like them to catch snow. So when we had all that foliage up there, we would get more snow pile up around our landscapes. So we get more free water for the plants, and it gives some winter interest to your landscape. So I suggest not cutting them back too early. The one exception to that rule would be if you live in an area where forest fires, urban fires. If you're in Black Forest, the west side of town, this is flammable material. So it's a good idea if you have these things within, I think, 15 or 20 feet of your home, then I would suggest going in and pruning those plants back in the late fall, so after they've gone dormant for the winter.
Got it. Now let's talk about trees. When's the appropriate time to prune them, and what are some of the rules?
For trees, we'd like to wait till late winter, so late February, March. If we do it late in the summer or early fall, we're going to encourage growth that time of year. And
so that's what happens when you cut things off?
When you cut a plant or a tree or a woody shrub, you're going to encourage growth. And we don't want to encourage growth going into freeze seasons, so late summer, early fall, or late spring. So you don't want to prune like the first part of May. We want those plants to stay dormant as long as possible so that we don't encourage a tender growth that would then be damaged by a late freeze or an early fall freeze.
Got it. So anything to know, you said there's certain parts we should prune back. There's like a percentage of the canopy?
Generally speaking, when you're talking about a woody shrub or a tree, we don't want to take out more than 25% of the tree itself.
Okay.
They can tolerate that. Any more than that, you can actually stress the tree and cause other issues.
Got it.
We want to remove any damaged limbs, torn limbs, or branches that are crossing. So eventually if a branch is touching like this, they'll start to grow into each other. And anywhere you have damage or decay, you risk more infestation from disease or insect.
And you were telling me if you do this around that late February, March time, you can actually see what's better to prune.
That's the other benefit for pruning in the winter when the tree's dormant is you don't see all the canopy, all the leaves. You're able to see all of the wood and all of the structure.
Got it.
So you can, and there's some great links on our website, and then Colorado State University has some great fact sheets that you can use that talk about the proper way to prune these trees. Because if you do it wrong, you can really affect how the tree will grow for its lifetime. If you do it right, you can save a ton of money on future maintenance for branches that might fall on your home, your car, stuff like that.
Makes lots of sense.
If it's a big tree, I would suggest hiring an arborist. I wouldn't try to do it yourself. So if it's a large mature tree, find an ISA certified insured arborist. There's some websites you can look that up on, and let a professional do it.
And what about bushes? They're kind of in between, rose bushes. What do we do with
so
those?
Woody shrubs, there's roses, lilacs, potentia. One general rule is if it flowers in the spring, you don't want to do any hedge cuts like we did there. You would remove the canes or the old wood later in the summer. If you hedge something back or cut something back really severely that flowers in the spring, you're cutting all the wood off that would flower. And a good example of that is lilacs. But if you're talking about like most spirea, Russian sage, potentia, butterfly bush, those are all things we can cut back because they flower later in the summer.
Got it. Well, you have given us so much good information. I know that was a lot. If folks have questions, they can always call the nursery,
Yeah, stop by and see us. Call us at 598-8733 or visit our website at coloradotreefarmnursery.com.
Fantastic. Great information, Levi. We appreciate it. Thanks for joining me. I'm your host, Jen Lennon.